Gaddis, obviously you hired him for a reason. Now that you've had a chance to work with him more and through spring drills, what new impressions do you have based on being around with him day to day?
Really all positive, tremendous teacher, a lot of energy, brings a lot of energy to meetings, to the practice field. I mean, he's coaching a lot of people every play. So it's, I think that's been a good theme for all of our coaches. They've really been engaged and coaching really well. Our players are picking it up, I think, as it relates to the offense. We're pretty far along after 7 practices with a new system being implemented. That's a credit to Josh and his staff.
Jim, being satisfied with the new system so far, do you ever stop and say, you know, why didn't I do this maybe a year or 2 earlier? Is it something where you look back, maybe have second thoughts on what you've done previously, if this stuff is as good as you think it is so far?
I think things sometimes change as you go along, and you're open to new ideas and different factors that you know, make it beneficial. But I've never been one to ever do things just because that's the way they've always been done. I've always taken the approach of if it helps us win, then we're going to do it and or at least try it. So it's always been my mindset.
Coach, you talked about the corners yesterday on your podcast. What's Levert's status right now?
Levert's coming along well. He had a procedure done in the off season that he's rehabbing from and really coming along well. It'd be close to whether he's able to make it back for some part of spring ball or not. But the rehab's going extremely well.
And then Don Brown talked about Vince Gray.
Yeah. So the corner position, I mean, it's been a healthy position for us this spring with Levert rehabbing, Vince Gray starting at left corner right now, and Ambry Thomas starting at right corner. Hunter Reynolds is backing up along with Jalen Kelly-Powell. Jalen Kelly-Powell is also backing up at the nickel. So Miles Sims, Jamon Green have also been in the mix, and they're coming along good so far this spring. So that's been it's been a good, healthy position for us. Jalen Perry has also worked in, and he's on the depth chart along with Jared Davis, and then John Batty, who's a student tryout that's done a nice job. He's all indications are that he's making the football team. So it's been a good position. The nickel position, that's Brad Hawkins is a starter there. He's doing an excellent job. He's also backing up at both safety positions, both the rover and the free. Right now, Josh Medalis and Jamaric Woods are the 2 starting safeties. Lewis Grodman is backing up Brad, and so is Sammy Foston. Jamon Green, Tyler Cochran are also in the mix, along with Quinn Rothman. So that's also been another position of good health for us.
Right here, Kyle. What's the situation at kicker? Is Quinn the guy, or is that a competition between him and Jake?
It's neck and neck right now. Charting all the kicks, it's extremely close. Quinn's like maybe 15 of 17 or 16 of 17. Jake Moody is like 15 of 16 or 15 of 17. They're right there neck and neck. So it's a good competition going on at kicker.
Jim, you mentioned Ben Van Sumeren a few times,
Mm-hmm.
running back. Is he a running back, or is he one of the hybrid backs, or are you just tailback?
Yeah, tailback, but he can also, I would call it a hybrid in the sense that that tailback can also be an H-back.
Okay.
But he's definitely cemented in as in the running back rotation as well. Right now, True Wilson's the starter, Julian Garrett's backing up. Ben Van Sumeren is the backup tailback right now, second team, and then Julian, Nick Capitino is another person who tried out who's in school here and tried out, and looks like he's making the team. Christian Turner I think we'll have Christian back either this Sunday or by the following Friday practice. So Christian should make it back for 4 or 5 practices. He had a soft tissue hamstring early on in practice, I think day 2, but he's progressing well. Hassan Haskins has also been limited this spring. He has a prior meniscus that's trying to get through what he can in spring ball, and so far it's been a couple practices. May make it back for some practices towards the end, but I think he's going to need a procedure when spring football practice is over. Zach Charbonnet's coming along really well. He had an existing injury coming out of high school that was fixed when he got here in January. Not going to be able to do any spring ball this session, but he'll be back and it'll do fine. Jared Char's been out all of spring ball, but hopefully he gets back for some work this spring. He had a hamstring from winter conditioning. Lucas Andrighetto unfortunately tore his ACL in our last practice, and it was just really makes me physically sick. He was doing so well. He switched positions from safety to running back and was doing great. I mean, he was up high in the depth chart, right in there with Van Summeren. And but he'll be back. We have a surgery here in a week or 2 when the swelling goes down. But phenomenal young man. He, from my neck of the woods out in California, went to St. Francis High School out there, won a state championship, had an interception in the state championship game, and also through a 2-point conversion, muffed field goal. So that was a tough break, but his attitude's great, and he'll be back. So that's where we are at running back. Been really healthy in the offensive line. That's been a position of strength for us the entire spring. Ben Bredesen, left guard, center Cesar Ruiz, Michael Owenu, starting right guard, John Runyon's the left tackle, and too close to call who the right tackle is right now. Andrew Stuber, Jalen Mayfield. It's neck and neck there, but they're progressing well. Chuck Filiaga is backing up Ben Bredesen. Steve Spinalis is backing up Cesar Ruiz. Ryan Hayes is backing up at left tackle, and Robinson and Jokic are playing both left and right tackle. We've got a lot of good depth there as well. Joe Honigford is at right guard backing up, and Griffin Coracon is having a really good spring. Really happy with him. Andrew Vistardis is playing all positions, center and guard, and Jess Spade is the number 3 center right now. So it's a group that every day they're out there. Every day they're practicing, and every day you can count on that group. So it's been a real source of strength for the team. Can really say that about the defensive line as well. Aiden Hutchinson is having a great spring. He's becoming a dominant player. He's elevated his game. Played in all 13 games as a true freshman. And, he's just doing an incredible job. Donovan Jeter's our starting 3-tech right now. He continues to be an ascending player. He appears hell-bent on being the starting defensive tackle. Quiddy Pay, also nothing but good there, doing a tremendous job. And Carlo Kemp, talked about him before. He's extremely strong. He's our starting nose. And then the backups, there's been some fluctuation there. Luigi Villian has come on at defensive end. He's backing up Quiddy, Mozzie Smith backing up Carlo right now, and Ben Mason is in that rotation, starter or rotation. But he's all the way up at least backing up both those positions right now in our defensive line and coming on like gangbusters every single day. Julius Welskoff's made a move. He's backing up Aiden Hutchinson right now. Taylor Upshaw also rising on the depth chart, and Gabe Newberg. Ron Johnson's been slowed with some soft tissue, but hopefully he'll be back for the weekend. Dave Derbaki's having a very good spring, and David Ajobo, all signs are that, all indications, that once he really learns the game and understands that part of it, he's going to be a tremendous player. Exceptional in terms of heavy hands, being able to knock back an offensive lineman, and also has real speed. He was a 100-meter guy in high school, and you know, when it all comes together, he's only had 7 practices. He was limited as a football player, as a youngster, and in high school. Really played 1 full season in high school, but played 4 other sports during his high school career. I had good things to say about him. Joey George is doing well. Carl Myers has been out all spring with a shoulder surgery, but that injury is progressing extremely well. And then the linebackers, Devin Gills missed a couple practices with illness, but should be back for this weekend. And when he is, he's been taking the starting reps at will. And Mike Backer was Josh Ross early, but then Josh had a hamstring strain. Hopefully he'll be back this Sunday, not this Sunday, by next Friday. But he was doing really well, having a great winter, and he was starting. Now it's Jordan Anthony is in there along with Cam McGrone. They're all interchangeable at that Mike Will position, and Jordan Glasgow plays Viper, he plays Mike, he plays Will, he plays them all in there. And then Shibley and Fakih have both been really steady, good players for us the entire spring, and they keep elevating their game. So that's the group right there. Hudson is been fabulous all spring. Kalik Hudson having an excellent spring. So is Josh Uche, and Michael Barrett's doing a really good job as a Viper and a Sam. Put him behind Glasgow right now in those areas. But really probably the backup Sam, backer right now to Josh Uche. And he's also, as I said, playing Viper. So that's a real in-depth look at the defense. And then wide receiver-wise, the starters are Mike Samersstill is the H, Oliver Martin starting at X, and Tariq Black is the Z. Ronnie Bell is he's hot on the heels of those 3 guys. Eric All has been really good this spring, and he's playing some receiver, he's playing some tight end, but he's got a lot of talent. Jake McCurry, unfortunately, was also high on the depth chart. He was in the top 3, 4 on the roster, but he had an injury to his foot in our practice before last. It looks like it's a Liz Frank fracture. He had surgery on it yesterday, but surgery went really well. He has a great attitude, and it looks like he'll be back by the start of August, if not August by our first game. And other receivers of note, Nate Shanley's also been slowed with a soft tissue injury. Hopefully he'll be back Sunday, and if not Sunday, by Friday. Jake Martin, steady, always doing a good job there. Jack Young has made quite a bit of improvement. Local player doing a really good job. And tight ends, Sean McCune has been outstanding. Nick Eubanks is the other starter at tight end. And Eric Aller, we talked about, Mustafa Muhammad, Luke Schoonmaker, both right in there as a 2 or a 3 at the tight end. And Joey Files continues to do his incredible job as player, coach, go blue guy all the way, doing fantastic. Quarterbacks are Shea, Dylan, Joe. That's been steady all spring. They're doing really well. And I think that pretty much covers most everybody in terms of depth chart and also injury. 2 guys, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Michael Dwumfor, looks like by all indications they have more serious injuries than we previously thought. Both have not participated very much in any practice or all winter. And concern is that and the word really is that it's more serious, that if they can get back to their previous form and level.
Well, Nico,
Nico's doing really well. Nico's progressing. Watched him run yesterday. So he had a surgery. Nico Collins had a surgery before spring practice, and watching him run yesterday, he's right on track in his rehab.
Aaron, you have a question?
I was going to ask about procedures.
Angelique?
Just to follow up on Donovan and Dwumfor, are they injuries that could keep them out of the season? Or when you say serious, what does that mean exactly?
They could. I've always been the kind of, since coach, but also when I played, I put a lot of stock in what a player, how their body feels, how they respond. So that's the feedback. All indications we're getting is that they really can't do much at all.
Are they requiring surgery?
Well, you always hope for the best.
Are they injuries that require surgery?
No. One Donovan's has been a soft tissue injury, a growing injury, and Michael had a torn plantar fascia right before the bowl game. Just start to worry when injuries linger longer than previously thought, but longer than the time it usually takes. I think nobody knows their body better than the actual person around.
Adam, no, you're good. Angelique, do you have something else?
Ed Warner Friday, Jim said that this offense is tailor-made, his word, for Shea Patterson. How have you seen, I know you singled out Shea, so now I'm not doing that. How have you seen that marriage work with Shea in this offense, Shea in particular?
Yeah, Shea in particular, when the new system came in, I mean, it takes some time. I thought there was some indecisiveness, natural indecisiveness, but the last 2 practices he's been very decisive, going through his reads and knowing where all 11 are on the field, and making good decisions and being quick with his decisions and accurate. So he's really doing well. Last 2 practices are showing that. Dylan's also picked it up extremely fast and doing well. A little mistakes here and there that they have to get a feel for the reads and the decisions that they make. And I would say that really all are progressing well in that area.
Larry?
At the open practice and at the spring game, how much will we and fans see the real offense, or do you keep that under wraps for competitive reasons?
The plan right now is to run the offense and run the defenses.
Nick?
Jim, Mike Sainer still in high school was a really quick pitch, like explosive offensive. Is that translated? Have you seen that sort of, and you're smiling now, I mean, I assume it has. He's been as advertised, I suppose, from
Yeah.
what you've seen in high school.
Yes, he's been really good. Yeah, he has a level of quickness, change of direction, speed that has been really eye-opening and really good for the team. But he's also tough. He's blocking. There's probably 3 examples where we can really just see him second, third, fourth effort down the field, sometimes 20, 30, 40 yards downfield, blocking for whoever doesn't have the ball. If you don't have the ball, then you become a blocker. He's been really good, and can't say enough good things about him. He's one of our mid-year guys that they've been great. They get to class, they get there on time, they get there early. They're kicking in the door to get in the weight room. They're just doing everything right. And I could say that about Mozzie Smith. I could say that about Eric Gall and Zach Charbonnet. Every single one of our mid-year guys is really doing well. Gabe Newberg, David Ajobo, all of them doing a great job. So, Mikey, just keep doing what he's doing. Really, he has an intensity about him when he's practicing and when he's in meetings. Really hungry and doing a great job. So, all compliments to Mike Sandersill, as long as he takes that flattery and, as they say, don't inhale. Should be good.
Ethan?
What's it like for a guy like him who, I guess, played multiple positions in high school to have a more clearly defined role now and learn that?
Yeah, he's got the ability really to do both. And there's the defensive coaches would be fighting to have Mike as a corner, as a nickel, for sure. And there's potential for him to be a two-way player, but that's kind of further down the line. But it just means a lot to the team. I mean, we got guys, that next guy up that comes in and steps up and does really well. Mike Sandersill, exclamation point there. Donovan Jeter, Ben Mason, they've really done that for our team. And they're going a long way to cementing their roles as starters for the fall.
We got time for 1 or 2 more. Start with Isaiah.
To that point with Sandersill, you mentioned on the podcast how he's taken a step forward being backup at punt returner and kick returner. What's enabled him to be able to do that as well on top of what he's been able to do at receiver?
Yeah, at punt returner, Ronnie Bell's the starter kick returner and starting punt returner right now, but Mike is the backup punt returner. Ambry Thomas is the backup kick returner. Oliver Martin's third punt returner. Mike Barrett's third kick returner. Mike Sandersill's fourth kick return right now, and Mike Barrett's fourth punt return. So it's just fun. It's just awesome to see the enthusiasm that he brings to practice. I mean, he's out there every day. He's hell bent on learning what everything that he can, and he's excited for every drill and every rep that he can get. And still a little bit like Eric All, doesn't need some more time on task to really understand everything, but they're both just so on fire to do that, just to be good and help make the team good.
Aaron?
Jim, you mentioned a lot of injuries in the offensive side of the ball. Is there any worry that it might slow the install of this new offense? So many guys kind of sit down?
Well, everybody that's taking mental reps that hasn't been in there. Even Lucas Andrighetto in the meeting, literally 2 days after he found out that he had an ACL, was asking questions. How do I know if I'm getting the ball or the receiver's getting the ball on a fly sweep? And was adamant about knowing, and I can say that for just about every player we have on the team. I mean, they've been engaged, and when it comes to walkthroughs or meetings, they're guys that haven't been taking the reps are still up in the front row and absorbing the information. So I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Jim, I'm curious what your feeling is on transfer portal, that not just your sport, basketball, players don't seem to be able to, they're not making them sit out as much as they have in the past. Is this good for the game, good for the kids? How does it affect you guys as coaches?
I don't know. I don't know that I really have an opinion on the question you're asking, other than the NCAA just needs to decide. I mean, is it a one-time? Can you have a one-time transfer to any school for any reason, or are we under the same rules that we have been under that are in the rule book? Because we're in an abyss in terms of that right now. The other thing, though, I would say, because it's going to affect a lot of players, you know, the new rule of being able to play in 4 games and still being able to have a red shirt, there should be a retroactive for those players that are juniors, seniors, and possible 5th years, because you know, right now I believe there's a hard line on them, even though you have a new rule if a player only played in 1 game or 2 games or played toward the end of the season, but now they're a junior or a senior, you know, that year you know, they should be under the same eligibility as.
Should be grandfathered.
Should be grandfathered in, like those are that played this past season. So, you know, hopefully people come to the logic of that.
Last question.
Just kind of off that question, the transfer portal, I mean, is that something that you like actively have to look at now as a coach and see what players go in there, and maybe there's someone you want off that list?
No, I'm not actively looking at it daily.
Angela, did you have a question?
I just said what Don mentioned, Don Brown the other day, that this is the fastest, this defense is fast. He said even faster than last year, which he thought was the fastest. How are you seeing that manifest? Are you seeing the defense look that much different?
Yeah, you know, that's a great observation. I mean, the thing that's hit me from day one with our entire team is that they move around really well. And then they move around really well all practice. There's no drop off toward the end of practice. I mean, our practice is even crescendo toward the end with the conditioning and with the speed at which the guys are playing. That's been evident every single practice, all sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams. Hungry, and in shape. And the team is strong and it moves well, and that's showing up on a consistent and good basis every day.
In a different shape because of this offense? I mean, is Herbert having to do some different things to make them, you know, prepared for maybe more snap count during a game with this speed and space that Josh has brought?
Yeah, I mean, the whole winter conditioning program. You know, once we got on the field in the first day, second, and right through practice 7, you know, you could see that our team was in shape, really moving around well the entire practice, and even had you know, some juice at the end where it even rose, as opposed to practices that dip toward the end and fall off. I haven't seen that in one of our practices. They've been very competitive, very, very sharp from a conditioning and strength standpoint.